Hey guys, Mr. Amari here with another tutorial for you. Today we're going to start a series of tutorials for this one item here. We're going to be creating a coin bank from a simple shape where we're going to hollow out that shape, create a lid, and create a lip for that lid. I'm going to break up the steps into a couple of different videos for you guys so that it's easier to follow along and you can always go back to the specific spot you need help with. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start a new project. If you don't know how to do that, please go back and look at our previous video on making the keychain. That'll show you all the basics of how to get started with TinkerCAD. These videos are assuming you've watched that first video and you know the basics of how to use TinkerCAD and its interface. So the first thing I need to do is I need to figure out which shape I want to use. So I'm going to go through my basic shapes and I'm going to go ahead and grab a heart. So I'm going to take that heart and bring it out into the middle of my work plane. The first thing I want to do is check the size of it. Again, to check the size, we can always click on one of these bounding boxes and it'll show me what the size is in these white boxes here. Now, right now, these are in inches because I have my settings set to inches. If you're in millimeters and would like to have it set to inches, make sure you go down to the settings option right here and you go to units and change it from millimeters to inches. And then if you'd like it to always be inches whenever you start a new project, click make default. And then we click off and now everything should be in inches. Now 1.4 by 1.3 inches is a little small. I'm going to make my bank 3 inches by 3 inches. Go ahead and put it back in the middle there. And I'm going to make it about 2 inches tall. That's a decent size. Looks like I can get a pretty good coin bank out of that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hollow out the shape. To hollow out the shape, it's actually pretty simple if you know how to use the duplicate and repeat tool. The first thing we're going to do is select the shape that we want to hollow out. Then I'm going to look at it from a top-down view. Next, I'm going to go to the duplicate and repeat button. It's the one that looks like a bunch of pieces of paper fanned out, and it's right next to the delete button. So I'm going to click that duplicate and repeat button, and you're going to notice that my bounding box here just flashed. That's letting me know that it went ahead and it made a complete duplicate of this shape in the exact same spot. There are other things we can do with duplicate and repeat, but we'll look at that in later videos. First thing I'm going to want to do now that I have 2 copies of this is I want to differentiate them. I want to make sure I know which one is which when I'm moving one of them. So I'm going to go into my heart menu here, change my solid color from brown to more of a yellow color. This way it stands out against the original color, and I know which one I'm selecting when I select it. Now with this yellow heart selected, I'm going to go to one of these black boxes on each of the sides, not the white boxes. We want to go ahead and work with the black bounding boxes on the left, right, top, and bottom. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the top one first. I'm going to click and hold on it. I'm going to bring it down by 1 click. You notice how in your snap grid you have it clicks down. When you move it down, I want to bring it down by 1 click. I'm going to do that to every side. I'm going to bring in every side by 1 click. It's very important that you move each side the same amount of times. This way the shape stays proportionally the same as the shape that's on the outside, just a little bit smaller. If I were to move the right side, for example, not 1 click, we can see that the heart doesn't match up here at the top. If I moved it too many times, I can see that it doesn't match up. So I want to make sure that I keep it even on each side. Now you'll see that we have a shape inside of a shape. We have our yellow with our brown. Also, I'm going to change that color of the outside to a color that I kind of want my bank to look like. I'm going to make it a pinkish color to go with the theme here of a heart. And notice how I can easily select my outside shape and my inside shape because I have 2 separate colors so I can easily see. What we're going to do is we're going to use this inside shape to hollow out this outside shape. Now, you'll know from the last video we watched that every shape we have can be made from a solid into a hole simply by clicking the button that's in the shape menu. So I went ahead and now it's a hole. And in order to show up as a hole, I just have to select everything here by left clicking and dragging. Let the red box cover everything. Now I have 2 shapes selected, and if I group it using the group button, I have what looks like a cookie cutter. It has hollowed out and cut out the top and bottom. Now I don't want a cookie cutter though. What I want is a coin bank. So a coin bank needs a bottom and it needs a top. So I'm going to undo what I just did. I'm going to select that hole again. And in order to make sure it's not cutting the bottom off, I'm going to go ahead and grab this little handle at the top. You remember this from the last video, where we have the handle that we can grab. It's a little cone. And then we lift it up. I'm going to lift it up by 2 clicks here. That gives me about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. So this way, from here, we see the bottom of the hollow part. Everything from this line down will be solid. So I have a nice little bottom on my heart bank here. The next thing I want to make sure of is that it's not poking through the top. What I can do then is I can take my height bounding box, and we know it's the height one because when I go over it, you see an arrow going up and down. I can click and hold on that and just bring it down until it disappears inside of my shape. Now I have a hollow shape inside my solid shape. If you ever want to check to see to make sure there are the 2 shapes inside of each other, you can click on your outside shape, click on the solid color, and click transparent, and that'll show you a see-through version of it. As you can see, I can see the shape that's inside of my outer shape, and I can see that it lines up perfectly. So this is looking all pretty good. Last thing I need to do to finish hollowing this out, like I did before, is go off of my shape, left click somewhere on the screen, and then drag the mouse until that red box is touching all of the pieces I want to group. As you can see, I have 2 shapes selected. I'll hit the group box, and now everything is hollowed out. Now obviously there's no way for me to put my coins in here. Very simply taken care of. I go over back to my basic shapes. You'll see the very first shape here is a box hole tool. I'm going to grab that box hole tool. I'm going to bring it on top of my coin bank. Then I'm going to go to my top-down view again. I'm going to make a narrow coin slot, a little rectangle across the top here. Something that looks like a kind of normal, what you would think of as a coin slot. Now, of course, this is sitting on top of the shape. I want to go into the shape. And I'd like the bottom of it to be somewhere in the middle so I know it's going into the hollow part. So again, I grab my handle at the top here. I drag it down to move it in Z space. And good, I have it very well into where the hollow part should be. I then just go ahead and, again, off of my shape, left click, drag my mouse, select everything, and then hit the group button. As you can see, when you look through the coin slot, we have a perfectly hollow coin bank. So this is the basics of how to make the coin bank, and here we have a coin bank that you can actually put the coins into. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to split it up so that you have a top and a bottom, and how to make the lip for that top. Thank you again for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.